My baby, how I love your legs. Well, thankfully, Paul McCartney changed that lyric. Yesterday is one of the most honored songs of all time. The BBC voted it the top pop song of the 20th century, and MTV has it right up there in their list of the greatest songs ever written. The song has been covered some 2,200 times, and they believe that before the 20th century ended, it had been performed some 7 million times. McCartney got the inspiration from a dream that he had while he was staying one night at his girlfriend Jane Asher's home. When he woke up the next day, he ran around trying to figure out if anybody had heard the melody before. He was a little bit concerned with plagiarism. And after waiting some 2 weeks or so, he finally thought, I think this is original. They went ahead and recorded it. The Beatles didn't want it released in England because it was such a departure from their sound. McCartney's the only musician who plays on it aside from the string section. Here's one of the most beautiful songs ever written. The Beatles, Paul McCartney. Yesterday. All right, well, the first thing with Yesterday is we need to retune the guitar. Yesterday was performed with a drop tuning, and we're going to drop the guitar an entire full step, every string. So that means that your low E string is no longer going to be an E note, it's going to be a D note, a full step down. Your A string is going to be a G note, etc. I've already tuned this down, so I'm going to play each string individually for you so you can tune to this. If I go a little too fast for you, you can rewind it. Or you can use a tuner and tune your low string, your sixth string, to a D note. And your fifth string to a G note. And your fourth string to a C note. And your third string to an F note. And your second string to an A note. And finally your high E string also to a D note. And here's the opening chord. Tune down a full step. Okay, let's talk about the chords you need to play for Yesterday. Alright, I'm going to give you the chord formations you need to form during the playing of this song. There are a few other little bits that I'll let you know about later, but here are the chords you need to form, and then as soon as we've learned all these chords or gone over them, then we'll talk about the strumming pattern and the way you go about playing this song. And the first chord is what I call a power G. It's an open G chord with your pinky finger playing these two notes, that is the G note and also the D note, which of course are different notes now, but when I refer to these, I'm probably going to refer back to, I say an open G chord. It's not a G chord. It sounds like F, but I'm going to call it a G chord. So please be used to the traditional names of these formations, even though when I play this, that's going to be an F chord now because we've tuned down a step. So the open G chord with the added note on the second string. You need an F sharp minor. You can choose to play that as a bar chord, but you don't have to. This is probably the better formation. In fact, I watched McCartney play this, and this is the formation he uses. F sharp minor. You need a B7, and you don't really need this high note in the B7 chord, so you just kind of need these three notes. This one, and this one. And strum the middle part of that chord, a B7. You need a C major 7, okay, and you can play this as a C chord if you want. I think it sounds a little nicer as a C major 7, and C major 7 is just the C chord with this note missing, with the index finger lifted off it. You need a D7 chord. You need need an E minor 7 chord, and that's an E minor chord with the pinky placed, again, on this 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And I think you'll end up playing it with fingers 1, 2, and the pinky. So an E minor chord with this note added right here. You need an open A major chord. And if you didn't play the C earlier, you're going to need a regular open C chord as well. I suggested a C major 7, so if you haven't played the C yet, you need an open C chord. Well, that's the gist of it, and if you notice there, the playing is down, the bass note thumbing down with the thumb, and if you look at the right hand through this whole thing, this is what McCartney does. He just takes his index finger and pulls up, generally speaking on the first 3 strings. But in some of these chords, it's going to be the middle section you're pulling up on. But it's always down on the bass note with the thumb and up. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Get the idea? Down and up. And so now we'll get real specific about which chords you play and which notes you thumb down and which strings you pull up with your finger. Okay, well first let's learn the verse section. And all of our strum patterns are going to be thumb down, up, 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 unless I tell you otherwise. And there are a couple little sections that vary a little bit. So we begin the song with 4 of those patterns on the super G chord. Just a simple thumb down, up, up, up with the forefinger. Then we start singing and we played the G twice more. Yesterday. Okay, our next formation is the F sharp minor, and I listened to the song carefully and I've changed my mind about this. Unless you're willing, if you're playing this F sharp minor, you really need to hit that F sharp position note on the 6th string with your thumb. If you're not comfortable with using your thumb, then use the bar chord for the F sharp minor, because you really need that note in there, and I'll show you why right now. Yesterday. Okay, it's a quick open 6th string and then the 2nd position note right there. And then 3 ups. The 3rd chord in the pattern is the B7 chord. So again, my thumb note there is the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then 3 ups. So just to review what we have so far. Yesterday. Okay, the next part deviates just a little bit. We're going to still use the thumb up, up, up for the next chord, which is not really a chord, it's partial chord. We're going to take our 2nd finger and put it on the 2nd fret of the 4th string and thumb down on that. And then 3 times up on the 2nd and 3rd strings, which are open. Then we've got a little progression down, a little scale down. Now, while I play that scale down, I'm going to only go up once with the forefinger. That little scale down is 2nd fret, 4th string, open 4th string, 3rd fret, 5th string. So that little section. I I get to that last chord, it becomes the C major 7 chord. So I'm picking down on that note there and up 3 times again. So again, this section. Let's put that all together so far. And I think once we get this chunk, this will be like half of the verse section. You can practice this a few times and then we'll finish off the verse. This is what you have so far. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. All right, we left off at the C major 7, which is now I need a place to hide away, that lyric. And we just came off of this. Now I need a place to hide away. Okay, so the next 2 chords in the progression after the C major 7, D7, which is the open 4th string, and then up, 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 and then back to the super G where we started. So just to review that little section. Now I need a place to hide away. Then we get to, again, another little scale down, and similar to what we did here, this time we're going, so we're going from this note in the super G chord, the 3rd fret of the 6th string, 1 up, 2nd fret of the 6th string and then 1 up, and then we go to our E minor 7 chord, and we're going to use the 2nd fret of the 5th string as our thumb down note, and back into our 3 pattern. So again, that little section. Our last chord in this pattern is an open A. So it's open A, open 5th string. And then we finish the verse off with open strums C, G, G. You can use your thumb or you can use the back of your forefinger. A little brighter if you use the back of your forefinger. And when you finish that off, you want to get right back into the up, up, up pattern because you're into the 2nd verse right away. So here's how that should sound. Now I need a place to hide away. Oh, I believe in yesterday, suddenly. All right, let's take part 1, put it together with part 2, and do a playthrough of the verse. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. Now it looks as though they're here to stay. Oh, I believe in yesterday. Somebody once told me the second part of this, I'm going to call it the bridge section of the song, was classically brilliant because McCartney wasn't classically trained, but he was able to just know instinctively how to go about rearranging this to be kind of an inversion of the verses, which is kind of what it is. It starts, same pattern, we're going to go down, up, 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 but we're starting with the F sharp minor formation. Why? So F sharp minor. Why she? F sharp minor to B7. And here's the section that's a little bit different. It's going to throw you off a little bit because it's not in that pattern or even close to that pattern. It just actually follows the vocal line. Had to go, I don't know. And we're going to play this. Had to. The had is second finger, second fret, fourth string, pulled along with, we're thumbing down on 4 and pulling up on 1. Had, and the 1 is open. To, and we just reverse it. So we take our finger off 4 and put it on the second fret of 2. Had to. And then what I'm going to do is slide up here to the 3rd fret with this finger and take my second finger and put it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. Go. I slide them both down 1. Don't. Okay. So to review, why she had to go, I don't. Again, so that, and that takes us back into the chord pattern. Go, she wouldn't say. And that is quite simple, really. It's the D7 chord, thumbed the first time through with the 5th string, and the second time through with the 4th string, so like this. The whole thing repeats. The whole thing repeats. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. So at the very end, it just ends with, we hold that super G chord. Let's take all the information you just received, practice it a bit, and then we'll now go to a full playthrough of the bridge section. 1, 2, 3. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say. I said something wrong, now I long for yesterday. Alright, our ending is really cool and really simple. It's coming off of, oh, I believe in yesterday. And then we go here. We're going to take our 3rd finger, put it on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, and our pinky on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to thumb down these 3 strings, and we're going to go. So we're just, with this finger, we're just going on the 2nd string. Well, fine-tuning for yesterday. This one would take a lot of practice for me because I'm not a finger picker, but this unconventional finger-picking style of McCartney really helps us with this. Some patterns that repeat, a couple little unconventional things that we have to throw in the middle of it, some practice, some beautiful chords, a beautiful song. The Beatles, Paul McCartney, Yesterday. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.